Right, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the reviewing floor. And today we're going to be taking a look at Asura's Wrath.
Yeah.
Interactive anime beat-em-up shouty-a-thon.
Mainly shouty. It's a shout 'em up.
Lots of shouting.
Lots of shouting.
Lots of punching.
Yeah.
And lots of blatant disregards for the laws of physics.
Well, yeah, the laws of physics can suck it.
So, the first trailer came out for this for a while ago.
Yeah.
I remember you sent it to me, and I had absolutely no idea what I was seeing.
Yeah, no.
But I knew that I wanted to own it.
Pretty much. That's pretty much the whole game. No idea what's going on, but it's fucking amazing.
See, the main misconception you can have with this game is that it is like a hack and slash type God of War, Devil May Cry type thing, because it's really not. But I think another thing that game developers have got perhaps wrong, not game developers, I mean game reviewers, one thing that sort of most game reviewers have got wrong with is they say that it is hardly interactive.
Mm.
But every level does have like genuine gameplay.
I know. I read all the reviews saying it didn't have anything in it. I thought, it'd just be I'll press a button every once in a while.
But there's
quite a lot of gameplay in there.
It is. I mean, to be fair, if you compare it in sort of game to cutscene ratio,
well, obviously not.
It's just as bad as Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah.
And people loved that.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah. Today's beverage is Cobra.
Yeah, because
the refreshingly smooth taste of India.
Because that's definitely what India tastes like. If you just lick the dirt in India, it tastes like beer, not dirt.
That's what the Ganges tastes like.
That's what it is. That's what's the motto.
It's Cobra.
Yeah.
Anyway, story is there's a dude with white hair and metal arms called Asura, who is one of the 8 great deities in Japanese mythology.
Apparently.
And they're fighting these weird demonic animal things called the Goma.
Ooh.
And one day Asura fights off some Goma in space. And then
Are they specifically in space or?
They are in space, yeah.
Dear God.
That's how it starts. You start off in space.
Oh, right.
And then he gets called to the office of the head deity Deus, which is Latin for God, which is where Deus Ex comes from. That's your trivia for the day.
Well done.
We have to give people trivia. We have to give people trivia? We have to give them an excuse to watch them.
Like I say, I can give you a lot of trivia if you want trivia.
No, just the one piece.
No, don't.
And then basically Deus has killed the emperor who rules over them all, and he's captured basically Asura's daughter.
It's magic.
Mithra, yeah, she provides all the gods with all their power. And
so how were they gods before she was born then?
I don't know.
So
they give her more power, I think.
Oh, okay.
It's never really explained.
Yeah.
But anyway, she gives them all the power, so they decide to kidnap her, and they throw Asura out of heaven, and he musters up all his strength and says, "I will have my vengeance!" Because he does that a lot.
Yeah.
He shouts a lot.
A lot of shouting.
But yeah, and basically the rest of the game is him fighting off the other deities, and they are basically, what will happen is they'll come down and go, Asura, you stupid / generally thick kind of guy who can only beat things up. We are going to beat you up. And then he goes, punches him in the face. All of his enemies are beaten by being punched in the face.
It's true. It's his signature move. Him and Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, and I was trying to think. There was someone else who follows the Harrison School form of fist fighting. Another film.
Mm.
It'll come back to us.
It'll come back to us.
The Indiana Jones school of throwing your fists until people fall off whatever you're fighting on.
Yeah,
because you're always fighting on something.
Yeah,
you can't just fight on the ground.
No, that would be silly. But yeah, no, and that's essentially how it goes. Just they betray him. He gets extremely angry, and he spends the rest of the game. It's like 12,000 years, I think.
Yeah, he dies. It's 12,000 years, and then he comes back.
Yeah, just with so much rage, just. Khan. Imagine William Shatner shouting Khan times about 1,000, and that's his every interaction. That's his ground state of being. That's how he communicates.
There are some times when he's merely irritated.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he's like really angry and shouty and
yeah.
Angry is the key word here.
And determined to have his vengeance against all the other gods. Which he does get. I mean, if you've watched this, you've probably seen the trailers where he punches the guy the size of the planet in the finger. And he explodes.
Yeah.
And that's like the first boss?
That's the first boss,
That's the first proper boss. Is the guy bigger than the planet, and he punches him in the finger, and he explodes.
And then loses both his arms.
He does use both his arms, but the guy was bigger than Earth.
And then fights somebody while he hasn't got any arms.
Yeah, he does.
Now, if you play the demo, to be fair, that is pretty much how the entire game plays out. Because you play the 2 levels. You play the first level where you fight said guy who's bigger than the planet, which involves a lot of, on rails shooting. That's some of the levels, and the rest of the levels are the other level where you fight August, his old mentor, which is sort of a beat 'em up type thing. Rather than have any health bars or anything, all the enemies in the game, you beat them up until the point where your
Rage
burst bar
Yeah.
is full, and you press a button that makes Asura do some sort of super move, usually punching them in the face.
Yeah, a lot of face punching,
Which will then move you on to the next area.
with quick time events,
Yeah, lots and lots of quick time
which
events.
don't suck in this.
No, they're alright actually.
The quick time events are all right when people put them in on purpose.
They
When it's
make-
like we've got some cutscenes where we should do quick time in. It sucks.
Yeah,
But
it makes sense that they're here.
Yeah,
And
you
the-
get bored otherwise.
It's a rare thing that quick time events aren't bad.
Yeah.
Because they are actually quite good at this. The gameplay, the major problem right off the bat is that the gameplay can be really repetitive.
Yeah,
Because there are no combos in the game. You repeatedly tap the attack button, and he wails on them a bit, and then you've got an area attack, an uppercut, and like a downward strikey thing.
and occasionally, if you manage to knock the enemy down, you can press a button and he kind of like either uppercuts them or punches them in the ground or kicks them in the face and counters them. But beyond that, it's mostly just hammering the same button over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They spice it up with the on-railsy bits.
Yeah, but the on-rails bits are very repetitive as well.
Yeah, well, the whole game is the gameplay is fairly repetitive.
Yeah. But
you're not going to get anything earth-shatteringly new and/or particularly stimulating with gameplay. You mainly play it for the amazing quick-time events / cutscenes.
Yeah, it depends how you view it. Because if you look at it as a game,
It's an awful game.
it's very repetitive. There's a lot of cutscenes and there's a lot of quick time events in it, and it's not particularly high on gameplay.
No,
But if you view it as a interactive anime or an interactive TV series, because it's got sort of previews of the next episode at the end, and there's like a short break in every episode, which acts like an advertisement break but without any advertisements. If you view it as something like that, then it's really good. It's a very well put together piece.
Yeah, it's not a brilliant game, so anyone treating it like a game will be disappointed because the gameplay is fairly repetitive. It's not that interesting, not particularly stimulating, well put together. It looks nice, and essentially what it's like all the cutscenes of the Devil May Cry games, we get to do that awesome stuff you never got to do in the game. Asura's Wrath is essentially all of those cutscenes stitched together, but they feel more awesome because you occasionally press a button.
And there's more shouting.
There's more shouting as well. There's lots more. Ah! He does that. He does a lot of shouting. We've said that a lot.
But we can't until you play the game. We can't stress how much shouting there is.
There is a lot of
There is
shouting.
a lot
of shouting that defies the laws of physics as well.
Yeah.
Like the bit where they're in space and shouting at each other. Like, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Also,
Trivia. You can't shout in space.
So the other one is it's a decent story.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't seen all.
I haven't seen all of
but
it.
It's a decent story, but it isn't great. It's a bit like given the fact that it leans more heavily towards story. It is essentially Asura's angry. He gets betrayed. He's still angry. He fights some guys. He's angry. Like there's a point when he ends up in hell, but he doesn't fall all the way down. There's like a tower coming out of hell, and he's holding on to it. And that entire level is, oh no, I'm on a tower in hell. Better start climbing it. Ooh, flashback to a training level. Now I'm out of hell. Yay! Let's go beat up some people.
But then, truthfully, with a character like that, you couldn't have what kind of story would you tell? That he's really angry because he got betrayed. He wants his daughter back. He's a lot like Harrison Ford, actually. He's been betrayed. He wants his family back. What more do you want? He's going to punch a dude in the face.
I want my family back.
Yeah. Right.
Well, no, I think they could give more time to some of the other gods to perhaps fill it in.
They all just seem like dicks from what I've seen. August is all right, but again, he's a fairly one-note character. He likes fighting.
Yeah, August is a decent character though. He's decent in the same way Asura is.
Yeah.
Basically,
Fairly one-note, quite enjoyable.
Asura's mentor, August, he's this big red dude that's covered in white swells, and he's got a beard and eyebrows that like grow into his hair.
Yeah.
And there's a part, you've got his two main bits. You've got the one where he takes you to a hot spring.
Oh, that's a nice bit of difference in the gameplay.
He takes you to a hot spring where basically you're bathing and drinking, and there's a woman with boobs that have jiggle physics beyond which you have never seen.
Jesus Christ.
And Yeah, they went all out on that one.
Yeah.
And
half the budget.
And
right
basically, you have to like drink and splash you and things to get your rage bar filled up. And,
although I think in this situation, it's not the rage bar.
And then Asura tries to touch her boobs, and August just twats him really hard.
Yeah, that's the first half of their entire conversation. It's just Asura's there, drinking. Occasionally, you can stand up and show her your penis, which is a little odd. But
that's funny though. Yeah. Just because the look on her face is just.
Not sure how to react.
Although it's funnier when August punches Asura, he has a look on his face like, which clearly states to me that he has seen August's wang.
Yeah,
that's a I've been punched in the face and there was cock on show kind of face.
It's not. He's not having a great afternoon.
But no, see that's one of the standout moments in the game. That because it's a bit different in terms of plot, and it's sort of like the other two bosses you fought before that were very much sort of rigidly in favour of what the gods are doing. Where August likes fighting, he knows what he is. He knows really he just exists to fight, and so he's going to make a meal out of it. I mean, you fight him on the moon. Yeah, I mean, that's the bit in the demo. You fight him on the moon.
But that is probably of all the bits of the game I've seen thus far, it's probably the most impressive.
That's just the standout moment.
Because it's one of those moments like if it was a film, it would be the best scene in that film.
Yeah. When you've got sort of the dramatic classical music and the over the top bravado one-liners.
Yeah.
Like, this is where real men belong. In the fight, I don't give a damn.
Yeah, That's his witty retort to almost everything. And the bit where he says, "You and I are the same," and Asura responds, he
pauses for a minute to think about what he's going to say, and then goes, "I am nothing like you."
Yeah, he's clearly not the best conversationalist. He's not Oscar Wilde, but then Oscar Wilde never punched a dude across the moon.
Oh, you say that. I've seen Dorian Gray.
That would actually, to be honest with you, that would have made the film a lot more interesting if at any point he punched a guy across the moon.
I think a lot of things would have made Dorian Gray more interesting.
That's true. There's a few things that can't be proved by a guy getting punched across the moon.
Yeah.
But we're tangentrifying.
But as I say, I mean, it's a reasonably focused story. It can feel a little brief. It can feel a little light in parts, but overall, it's a decent story. But seriously, you need to know what you're getting into. Don't think
that sounds a bit sinister.
Well, no, I mean,
if you buy this game, you do then have to sell your firstborn to Satan. Just so we're clear, just get yourself into.
But this isn't a game, really. I mean, it's got enough gameplay, but it's more of an interactive story.
Yeah, truthfully, if Asura's Wrath had been an anime series, it would be just as good. And in fact, it might even be better because I wouldn't have the complaints about the gameplay being a bit boring and repetitive. We'd just be like, "Oh my god, this is amazing! It's a dude and he's punching stuff and it's awesome." In fact, yeah, truthfully, if it was an anime series, I'm glad they made it into a game because I want to enjoy the experience of getting a punch and go across the moon. I just think they didn't really need to.
No,
they could have. Well, they wouldn't have made it a movie. That would have been too much.
It's certainly an interesting idea, though. It's kind of in terms of sort of original concepts. It's kind of up there with it's kind of up there with Catherine, in that it's something you really haven't played before, and you really should check out. I mean, even if you just want to rent it, it's something you should really check out to
say that you have
for the experience. One thing, again, like Catherine, in terms of from a holistic approach, it's unlike anything I've ever played before. But there are aspects of it that are similar to other games.
Oh yeah, well obviously.
And like the main thing people have said to me in regards to this game is, "Oh, isn't it a bit Dragon Ball Z? And isn't it really like Dragon Ball Z?" I think, yeah, it is kind of like Dragon Ball Z.
There is that bit where, lots of them in the boss fights where there is that bit where they're basically just punching each other's punches.
Yeah,
which is exactly like Dragon Ball Z.
There is
that bit.
I know how fights work. You can't really do that. You can't make fist-on-fist contact. It hurts.
But then you say that, but then again, punching across the moon, sword bigger than the earth, dude bigger than the earth. Nuclear holocaust via rocket ship. It's kind of. Yeah. I wouldn't take this game too seriously. It basically does a big fat finger to the laws of physics.
For me, it's got a definite Afro Samurai vibe as well.
Yeah,
because it's got it's sort of Japanese mythology crossed with Afro Samurai, crossed with sci-fi, And Afro Samurai, for those of you that've seen it, and this is great because we're tangentially linking it back to what we said in the Drive review.
Yeah. Like I say, we're just going to put Afro Samurai references in everything now.
We've only done it in one. We're linking
We're
back
going to keep
it.
doing it until every single one of you has watched it.
Basically,
all 10 of you.
Afro Samurai is like feudal Japan mixed with current day Japan. With
It's like feudal Japan mixed with current day Japan. They're really switching it up
in
there.
terms of technology.
Also, there are more black people as well. Oh, no,
Yeah.
it's not actually, is there? There's him.
And Ninja.
Ninja's like Tyler Durden. He's not real.
He's still black.
The apparitions count, apparently.
But no, there's a bit, you didn't play this bit, but there's a bit when you go up into one of the spaceships, and there's like this lift that goes up vertically like that, and it really reminded me of, you know, the MT7. For some, they have that big lift that goes down. It reminded me of that.
You got those lifts a lot and stuff. I mean, that's actually as a concept, as a well realised concept, Afro Samurai is pretty good actually. Like Afro Samurai, Asura's Wrath.
Yeah, we'll get to Afro Samurai.
Scheme wise, you know, the art styles. The first of all, the whole universe is something completely original. I mean, it's based on Japanese mythology, but again, I'm guessing
sci-fi.
the stuff in that. Yeah, but I'm guessing the stuff in Japanese mythology doesn't exactly happen.
No.
And by the same degree, it's as much as the game itself is like nothing you've ever played before, the world it creates, the characters. The characters obviously they're just people, but the mythology and the weird science fiction setting, despite it somehow being the past on Earth, they have spaceships and giant stuff.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's something
enjoyable.
something I'd definitely like to see more of.
Yeah, no sequel, please, Capcom. Also, stop charging me for Marvel vs. Capcom 3 DLC, you bastards. Sorry, just, you know,
Capcom.
Capcom.
Rant against Capcom.
Fuck you, Capcom. Yeah, no, if they made a second one, and I think if they tightened up the gameplay, and I mean, I know the gameplay is not the most important aspect of it, but if they added, you know, combos and, you know, a few extra moves to it, maybe added a few other things, and made a longer game. I mean, I've no idea how it ends, but I suspect that's where I can't spend another even longer game being angry again.
Without wishing to spoil it, the ending, it's... Although there's a secret chapter which is really unsecret, because as soon as you finish the game it goes, finish second secret chapter, do the secret chapter, do the secret chapter, this wasn't the actual end of the game, you fucking schmuck. Yeah, I haven't done that yet.
No.
But the way it ends in the normal game, it kind of wraps it up, but it's, you know, it's nothing spectacular. But, you know, so to sum up then, Asura's Wrath, a lot more interactive than you've heard. All the other reviews I've seen and read say that, you know, there's hardly any gameplay in it, and it's just cutscene. That's not true. Every level has hand-to-hand fighting gameplay in it, and then there are cutscenes that have a lot of quick time events in them. Again, as I said, in terms of gameplay to cutscene ratio, it's not really any different to Metal Gear Solid 4. I mean, the last level of Metal Gear Solid 4, if you skip all the cutscenes, is about 15 minutes long.
Yeah. Truthfully, the best way to define it is it's got more gameplay in it than you'd heard, but less than you'd like.
Yes.
That's pretty much the chief thing of it.
And as with every sort of original game, like Killer 7, Katamari games,
anything that comes out of Japan, basically.
You really should check it out. Even if, I think the demo might be enough for some people. Definitely,
download the demo.
If you're interested in the game, download the demo. If you love it, buy it, like I did. And if you like it, just rent it. But it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
It's if only for how unique an experience it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, any closing statements?
There you go. Just repeat that on a loop for 10 minutes. That's every cutscene.
We didn't mention his arms.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah, for some reason he grows extra. He's got 2 arms normally, and some reason occasionally when he's really pissed off, he gets 4 other ones. So he's got 6 arms. And then at some points they all get blown off, so he has no arms, and he's forced to just headbutt things into submission. So if you want to see a guy missing his arms, headbutt stuff to death, this is the game for you.
I think that's as great a closing statement as any.
I think so, yeah.
See you later.